Hi guys. Thank you for having me here, for inviting me to Krakow. It's not my first time. We've been here 2 years ago to Krakow Technology Park with IT companies from our association. And actually, last year I invited Krakow Technology Park to Polish Tech Night as well. And welcome to Berlin. I invite always Krakow companies to Berlin. We are a bank, the big SIBB. No, we're not that big. But we are the Association of IT and Digital Business of Berlin and Brandenburg. We've been founded in 1992 as a software initiative of Berlin-Brandenburg. In those times where software was actually created on different kind of meetups, with not really much of internet, not much of meetups, people decided to have an association, develop kind of like new software technologies for implementation in the already developed German economy after the unification. This is Potsdamer Platz, that's where our headquarters are, and today we are 250 company members, all R&D centers of Berlin and main universities as well as of our members. And we are part of this big structure which is called the ICT Creative Media and Creative Economy Cluster of Berlin. The Cluster Association in Berlin doesn't actually have such a structure like in Ukraine or in Poland. It is more of an entity which actually associates all the biggest players on the market. So we are working very close with Berlin partner für Wirtschaft und Technologie, which is the local agency for development of economy and technology. We are the founder as well of a campaign Log in Berlin and project Future, Projekt Zukunft. And it's all about inspiring and showing what is possible to do in Berlin. Berlin, as you know, inspires, it attracts a lot of people, there's a lot of startups, a lot of creativity, and it's one of the most dynamic economical centers in Berlin as a digital hub and for different technologies coming new to Berlin. In 2017, we have been actually placed as a number 7 global startup ecosystem in the ranking in terms of performance, funding, market reach, talent, and startup experience, which is not bad, but let's not be just satisfied. We can move on and do much better if it's about that. Some facts and numbers about Berlin. Thank you to the numbers to Berlin partner and to all the Berlin administration, which is actually branded always like B Berlin. So the 75% of all startups in Germany are based in Berlin. And I'm going to explain to you how and why and where did they come from. Actually, every 8th job in Berlin since 2008 has been creating this digital economy, the new economies. And every 5th startup generates now a turnover of over 1 million euros a year, which is quite big. Every 4th, every 3rd gets bankrupted or burns out money, but that's okay, that's usual, that's how it goes. Actually, startups and this new digital economy became the 5th biggest employer of the city. The first one is Charité, the biggest hospital of Europe. The rest 4 of ones, you can imagine, it's like in Poland as state agencies. So actually startups and the new economy, the digital economy, are bringing the city forward. Where did it start? So you all might know this thing with the Berliner Wall. A couple of slides ago, you've seen Potsdamer Platz. That's Potsdamer Platz as well, actually, that 30 years ago. So this building here is actually now our office. It's been completely restructured, and that's how Potsdamer Platz looks nowadays, so people who've been to Berlin know. So 30 years ago, it was an economical desert and actually a city with a very missing infrastructure, with a lot of deterioration, a lot of missing infrastructure. So now we have a map of startups, incubators, VCs, and you might have a look. This comes from a blog of Honeyspot. There's a journey through 186 of Berlin's coolest startups and VCs and accelerators, and we have the Berlin Wall actually going through the city like that. So as you can see, the majority of startups, incubators, R&Ds and VCs are based in East Berlin. This is just the zone A of the metro system of Berlin. There is also plenty of things going outside, technology parks like the technology park of Adlershof, etc. Yeah, why? So there was a lot of empty spaces, a lot of industry building. Berlin belonged to the most industrialized cities of the world and was the most economically developed and industrialized city before the Second World War. What happened after the Second World War? All the big industry ran away. Siemens, AEG, Miele, they ran away to Bavaria, Stuttgart, and etc. The city got divided, was subsidized for 40 years, so people in West Berlin were living in a golden cage. In East Berlin, there was a lot of heavy industry like Nowa Huta in Krakow. So all of that got bankrupted after 1989, and the city was actually struggling economically. It was in a lot of debt, struggling a lot, attracting a lot of young, attractive people from the creative scene, artists, techno scene, musicians. It became a very nice place to live, to study, to have a great lifestyle, and it was cheap. So what happens? Let's come back to some numbers as well. The city, compared to the other capital cities of Europe, was a big metropolis in a Western country with extreme low cost of living and a lot of empty spaces, which attracted the first entrepreneurs who came about 2004, 2005, and 2006. The big boom came with the internet, with all the e-commerce growing. And so that's how it started, that all these first people founding the e-commerce businesses started selling them, developing, making money, becoming the first investors and founding new startups, new ICT companies, digital companies all over Berlin. The rent was cheap. An apartment costed at that time for 100 square meters 400 euros, an office maybe 800 euros. In terms of employment, we could actually had no competition in Europe about it. Let's come back to these days. Berlin is a city of talents. We have 170,000 students, which compared to Krakow or Wrocław in Poland could be better, of course, for a 4 million city. But with 30,000 graduates each year, we can actually power up the local job market as well. And there is different nationalities in Berlin, about 185 of them, which makes the city so-called in German multi-kulti, which makes it very attractive from everybody from the world to move in. And that makes also the local society bilingual, trilingual, fourlingual, etc. So 70% of people speak a couple of languages, so it enables the business to become global, of course. In terms of some numbers and comparison with Berlin, San Francisco, London, we still have a very cheap cost of living and leading your business. It's a bit blurred today here, but as you see, the average cost of an office of a rent per year per square meter per month, it's 264. Now it's maybe reaching 300 compared to other cities. I think Krakow and Warsaw could be a bit more expensive as well, because all these buildings are of Series A as well, and about the standards and the skyscrapers. The average cost of employment, well, okay, in Berlin we don't pay that well. So there is still developers coming from other countries that don't get that good money, but at the same time they get the lifestyle, because a lunch, a beer or something like that costs sometimes much less than in Krakow and Warsaw. Actually, Warsaw, it is more expensive to go out. I do have to agree with that. And so compared to the Silicon Valley and London, we have a big opportunity, and then there is some more assets which I'm gonna be talking about. What is it? It's the availability of venture capital. So among the 100 top startups in terms of funding, about 70% of them are based in Berlin compared to other German cities. There is a shift from seed to later stage investments of Series A. So there has been a lot of incubators and possibilities to get a seed funding, like 10 years ago, 7 years ago. Now we've shifted to the Series A. There is more and more VCs and actually partnership with the foreign capital, venture capitals and business angels. There is still a lack of big money. I think it's gonna change that in a couple of next years, but in order to get a proper Series B, you still have to go to London, you still have to go to USA, or maybe you have to be lucky in Germany about it. It all started also with the support of the city, of the investment bank of Berlin, which was actually like very much supporting the startup and the creative economy with this seed funding for the startups. In terms of availability of venture capital, we had a plus of almost 200% about the investment volume of venture capital in Berlin in the last year, to almost, which rose to 3 billion euros, a place in Berlin on the second place after London and Berlin. Wow, we are all impressed as well. That means a lot of these companies got a lot of funding from the venture capitals, which are now based in Berlin and Germany. If we're talking about the biggest brands which got the biggest funding, it's, I'm sure you know, Zalando, SoundCloud, Uga or Delivery Hero, or HelloFresh, Kvandu, or Auto 1 Group, which is also very famous in Poland about selling and reselling your cars. I don't think that's visible that much, but among this study from Ernst & Young about the development of startups, the top 100 startups located in Germany which got the biggest funding, you can see how many of them are based in Berlin. These are the numbers. I'm sorry that it's a bit blurred. If you're just going to ask me, I'm going to show you what these statistics about. Okay, so if you want to ask me about that, Berlin is decentralized. Exactly how this city's history about West, East Berlin, this is how this ecosystem actually developed in the last years. As I told you, there's been a lot of development starting from e-commerce and from such platforms like StudiVZ, which is a kind of combination of Facebook and Nasza Klasa. For all of them, all of you who are not from Poland, Nasza Klasa is kind of like Polish Facebook as well. So yeah, these founders, one of them of Polish origin, actually, from Opolska, but moved to Germany as a child. Plenty of them started being serial entrepreneurs. They were like co-founders of other businesses. It's quite obvious that once you're a successful entrepreneur, you sell your first startup, you're still like hungry for some more success, so you reinvest in your money. So brother somewhere they're very actually famous for such paste and copy businesses from Rocket Internet, which came to Berlin also in this hype of the e-commerce boom a couple of years ago. Rocket Internet actually attracted a lot of people to Berlin. These people had a very fast track, people working for Rocket had a very fast track career. Then they actually exited Rocket Internet and started founding local startups as well. So we have a couple of satellites like central positions. We have Team Europe, we have Rocket Internet. We have Point 9 Capital with Paweł Chudziński, a Polish banker and investor who actually developed in a lot of different investments in Berlin. We have also Cavalry Ventures. So all of them are in a kind of like very decentralized configurations. We don't have the statistics of how they perform and work because the change is very rapid. If we actually consider more numbers and about this rapid change, the Berlin boom deserves it to about 50 plus incubators and accelerators in Berlin. Some of them are here in Krakow as well, like HEVRE. And we have over 100 co-working spaces. One of the oldest one is Better House. Maybe you've been there. It has been on the market for 15 years. Has a very old charm from Berlin with wooden pallets and everything like typical Kreuzberg style. But now they are growing like mushrooms. The WeWorks alone on Potsdamer Platz, we will have 3 WeWorks surrounding us. There is Rent24. There is luxury co-working. There is cheap co-working. There's free co-working. So for every kind of pocket, every kind of startup, you will find your own place. And there is this legend of 500 plus more startups being found each year. I would be more realistic. I think it's about 300 or 400. So they say it's every couple of hours. I would say it's just one a day, because many of them got bankrupted before they even register their company, or just the idea, the proof of concept is not being actually, as you know, it can depend. Let's move on. So what about the industries, the statistics? So we're still very much focused on e-commerce, ad tech and retail tech, which places around 30% of the Berliner startups. So all these biggest brands like Home24, Zalando, Mr. Specs, like buying your sunglasses online, Käuferportal, Kaufda, they are very strong, and there is a lot of this e-commerce funding coming as well. There is another, I forgot to show you as well in that satellite diagram about venture capitals. Project A Ventures, a very operational venture capital with hands-on investment in e-commerce businesses as well. Very strong dynamics comes to the fintech, and that's where we're heading. Actually, the German federal government decided to support and develop its city in Germany with a strong economy, and set up a kind of digital hub which is going to digitize the economy and push Germany forward in terms of digitization. So you can have a look on the D-Hub website, and Berlin has been actually chosen to become the main IoT hub and the second one fintech hub after Frankfurt. We have a fintech tower which is actually in the former headquarters of Berliner Bank. Now it has been actually replaced by FinLip. And we have a Solaris Bank and a lot of venture capitals and fintech startups being there. 3 weeks ago, I organized a software house pitch for Polish companies in front of German customers. Very nice event. The Polish Berlin tech community organized yesterday a meetup there as well. In terms of other cross industries, we have a very strong support from Bayer with the accelerator grants for apps. So MedTech and digital health are also developed, the same as Startup Bootcamp for digital health, and Brown Acceleration Program coming very soon to Berlin. So that's something in addition. And this IoT connectivity mobility, they have to be connected, of course, with industry. So we have a very strong connection with Industry 4.0. There is a lot of opportunities to meet and mingle in Berlin. So you know that in Berlin you have meetups, congresses, trade shows, fair shows, actually every day. You would have to go 24 hours 7 to visit something. Out of the biggest ones, you can actually mention Tech Open Air, TechCrunch, Cube Tech Fair. There is a lot of events for startups also going by Messe Berlin, and including the IFA show, the InnoTrans. So there's many opportunities which I offer from my project Lookout to Polish companies with discounted tickets, with discounted possibilities to become an exhibitor or to become a potential speaker. NOAA conference for investors, Republika for social media. There is 2 Polish accents, or German-Polish accents. One is the e-commerce Berlin Expo, actually the biggest expo for e-commerce solutions in Berlin, with 2 founders from Poland. And this one is the DroidCon, which actually takes place here in Krakow as well. It's a success stories from Berlin, which shows how a conference dedicated to Android developer can become very global. Actually, the 10th anniversary in the summit actually took place last week. Let's come back to SIBB. What is our role? With 250 companies which are set up on the market, R&D centers and research projects, we organize in about 90, 100 events a year as well. Most of them are meetups of that size. And all of the point is just actually to connect the businesses. So it's a cross-industry meetup just to generate business networking and business opportunities. At the end of the day, all of you, if you're founders, entrepreneurs, you cannot rely only on funding and financing from venture capitals and banks. You need to find who? Customers, right? So you have to generate turnover for your products. Otherwise, maybe it's your passion to burn out some money. That's a Berlin style thing. So set it something up, burn 2 million euros, and let's find something new. So our networks, this is how we call it forum. So we specialize in different areas. I'm responsible for forum finance, digital transformation, and sometimes actually for human resources as well. So we actually tend to organize these events depending on the topic. Similar like in Kyiv, we are actually very focused on virtual reality, cybersecurity, artificial intelligence. There is a lot of possibilities to become a speaker. I invite speakers from Poland on a regular basis to present their solutions, creative and innovative ideas in front of a Berlin audience. I'm actually looking for somebody who could present a nice solution about artificial intelligence. We organize a meetup on a regular basis by the Smart Data Forum, which is Deutsches Forum für künstliche Intelligenz. And it's actually a part of German Finance Forum for Artificial Intelligence. That's going to be the fourth one this year. And we have an audience of about 150 people. Also big brands, people looking for some innovative solutions. So if you're interested, hit me up afterwards. And yeah, what is our main purpose? It's actually to get members who are paying their fees to us. That means we're actually delivering some services, some added value to them. They have to make profit. Actually, the profit is networking, getting some business ideas, getting some financing, getting the contacts, and developing their business. It's much easier in a network. If you are coming to us as a member company and say, hi, we would like to organize something about it, we're trying to be as much as possible non-biased. So that means we're not preferring one company to the other one, and trying to include a lot of speakers, a lot of specialists from different areas. We also actually, so who are our companies? Some of them exist on the market about 20 years, 30 years, because IT started in Germany already in the 60s, or like SAP in the 70s. We have the biggest brands like Microsoft, Oracle, SAP, who have their dependencies or like affiliates in Berlin, mostly with motion labs, innovation labs, and all these innovation centers which were set up in Berlin. And we also have a project Lookout, so it's part of our activity to connect with small, medium companies from Berlin with the actually IT world in Poland. We've been to Wrocław, that's where it started. There we came to Krakow. We have a very good connection with the city. We like Krakow a lot. We invite you a lot. We've been to Warsaw as well last year, but we haven't had the opportunity to meet up. We were actually at their heart, sorry. So, but yeah, so what is our startup initiative in Berlin as of an association which tries to get the best of this technology part? It's the Deep Tech Award together with the local government of Berlin called the Senate of Berlin. We are organizing every year starting 2015 an award for deep tech solutions made in Berlin. It's not that easy to find them because most of them are e-commerce, so we're just trying to get some solutions from IoT, from connectivity, from Industry 4.0. We're giving away 60,000 euros each year to the best solutions. You might say it's not much money, but some of them actually got survived because of 10,000 euros as a first or as a second award, and it helped them to get the certificate and to get promoted on the market as well. Some of them used that for a second financial round in Berlin, and we're going to organize the next one actually in a couple of months from now on. We're actually supporting the ecosystem with our members. One of the biggest one is Vista, which is actually kind of a sister organization of Krakow Technology Park. It's called Atlashof. It's a bit older than KPT. And it's been found in the beginning of 90s. Now it's actually the most successful technology park of Germany. Soon not having any place left, with a lot of accelerators like the A2 accelerator for technological companies, biotech and life science and etc. We work very closely in my forum finance with the Investment Bank of Berlin. We are lucky in Berlin to have our own local bank for investments. because they have their own money, they don't have to rely on other entities, and we have a lot of different programs for micro companies, microcredits, small companies, innovations, coaching bonus, transfer bonus, and also we have a local venture capital which belongs to the group. We have also Hasso-Plattner Institute, which is part of SAP, which is actually concentrated also as a part of a Potsdam University to be a spin-off as a technology transfer center with an acceleration program. A very good program from Berlin, to finish that soon, it's Start Alliance, where Warsaw is part of it. So it's a program which was started by our cooperation partner, Berlin Partner für Wirtschaft und Technologie, which is about to build a network via Berlin with the biggest global hub centers from Shanghai to New York City. And actually, as you can see, the cities that joined Start Alliance are listed here. And it's all about cities, startups, and corporates. So cities participating in that program can actually come to Berlin for a couple of weeks of acceleration, or they can apply via Berlin to get to any other cities in the world from that network, which is amazing because you don't have to build your own actually partnership in order to go to Tel Aviv or to Dubai. You just actually are part of this program which is integrating all these big digital hubs from the world. So I'm very impressed that Warsaw is actually part of it, and we have a very cool example from Polish Tech Night, and from Warsaw there is a startup also which has its roots in Krakow, early about measuring of smog in Krakow and in Poland, and he took part in the acceleration part of Star Alliance recently. So what do we offer as SIBB to you? Participation in some SIBB events depends on the topics and on the need of the speakers. Hit me up. As I said, the first opportunity is about to be a speaker about artificial intelligence. The second one is I'm looking for some very innovative solutions for real estate based on blockchain and facility management as well. We will organize a meetup in September with a Real Estate Innovation Network and Berlin partner dedicated to the actually deficits of housing and office spaces in Berlin. We can directly connect you with Berlin Partner, which is also the talent center and the center for business location, like sorting out all the visas for you, and if you would like to set up your business, we will give you legal advices about it. We can contact you with the local technology parks, which are our members as well. Information about accelerator and incubators of our member companies, discounts for trade shows and congresses. They are regularly posted on my LinkedIn and actually sent to all the partner from Poland, including to OMGKRK or Krakow Technology Park. And if you're looking for some assistance in terms of legal advice and financial, hit me up. Plus, last but not least, Polish Tech Night as part of our project Lookout and connecting the startups from Poland with Berlin investors. We will organize 2 amazing days for you guys, for startups who can apply for a pitch in front of German investors on the 27th of September. It's a great location, Silicon Alley, and where Point 9 Capital is, Ocean Protocol and other blockchain-based startups in our campus in central Berlin with a nice rooftop. Hopefully we're gonna have a nice weather. And the day before we will organize great workshops, especially dedicated for you. It's 5-6 hours of intensive learning of how the ecosystem works, how the legal and financial market in Germany works, what are the marketing specifics of the German marketing, how to pitch in front of German investors. So these workshops are just interesting as a part of learning and expanding, or maybe thinking about expanding to Germany or global. Come over, you are more than welcome. All the details are on the website of polishtechnight.com. So I think that's enough. And thank you.